I don't know. Look at a glass butt plug, and that might change your mind.
Did you record that?
This is Twin Sig Radio, episode 77 for the week of July 18th, 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Trey Higgins, and I'm joined by Chris Rodriguez.
Hello.
And Justin T. Lopez.
Hi.
How's it going, guys?
It's good. I can't believe we're already on episode 77. I feel like we just did 69.
Why wasn't our thumbnail like Vault 76?
Because we didn't really talk about Fallout 76.
I talked about Fallout 76.
You always,
and that
yeah,
doesn't
but
matter. It's
Oh, wait.
it's making
Not
the
only that,
connection.
To be fair,
that episode just went up about 30 minutes ago.
We did talk about Fallout 76 because we had that
I
story
know. Why
about
wasn't
the No Man's Sky
Yeah,
guy.
why wasn't the thumbnail us like walking into Vault 76 or something?
I'm just going to make
Because
you...
I never get to be in pictures on our fucking channel.
Well, not only that, I'm just going to make you look silly. I'll make it that.
That's
So there
fine.
you go.
I just like put Everett's head on Vault Boy. He's like,
Okay, there you go.
yeah,
I'll do that.
there you go.
Ev, get on it.
I like how Ev is like an occasional guest on this show, but he's probably been on more thumbnails than I have.
Okay, in my defense, one, I've wanted to do a photo shoot with us, so that way I can have like...
Photo
When have you
shoots?
ever offered to do a photo shoot?
Oh, hang on. Offered? I'm not taking pictures of you. I wanted to be a part of a photo shoot, so that way we have pictures for thumbnails.
Also, to be fair, like I feel like I don't know what it is. I don't know why Justin and I are on more pictures, but the only
Because I'm ugly. We don't want to scare
well,
people
the only
away.
pictures I can think of are your family pictures that get posted to Facebook.
But you
Those,
don't even crop my head
those
out.
are the only things I can think of where I've seen you in pictures in like a few
that is
years.
fair.
Which brings me to my
That is fair,
second
but
point.
I have a camera
There's
that
almost
can
no
snap a
pictures
picture.
of you on Facebook.
Just ask me
And
to
there's
snap a
like
picture.
one of Chris.
There's more. You just got to dig hard.
Yeah, okay.
You
Well,
gotta
I'm
dig
making
real
a
hard.
thumbnail. I'm not going
If
to
you
dig hard on a thumbnail.
If you dig super hard, you'll probably find me with long hair, straightened emo style.
Yeah.
You got to dig real deep though. Go back into the right friends to find these pictures. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Yeah.
I think I brought up doing a photo shoot to Ev. I think he might have been the only person I ever mentioned it to.
I did. Nailed it.
I was like, I have never heard this before.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I'd be down. I need at least like one decent recent picture to put on my dating profile.
That's fun. Yeah, we could do that.
No, they're not fun. I've been part of them and they're not fun.
I've been a part of them, and they're fun.
Nope,
So
they're-
take your
Yeah,
pick.
but you're also a part of them with very meticulous people. Like, for
No.
us, I feel like you just snap a picture and we're good.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm not an actor, so I don't consider that shit fun.
I just need you to make some crazy faces. That way you can make like really clickbaity.
Just replace
YouTube
all,
thumbnails.
No, just replace all my pictures with the middle finger.
Just the middle
Wait,
finger.
yeah,
that's
that's
you.
all.
I want to mention something that I just noticed that I feel like none of us noticed. Everett, you're wearing a Dad Fest shirt. I love it.
Is it a race for dads?
Are you raising money for dad awareness?
Racing against testicular cancer.
Oh, okay. There you
yeah,
go. Testicular
for
cancer.
daddy awareness.
Yeah. Dads have balls. Look at that.
Just out of context, that shirt is amazing.
It kind of looks like a shirt you bought at Goodwill or like the pawn shop. Not a
Yeah.
pawn shop, like a thrift store.
It's just like a secondhand store. Yeah.
Or
It's like somebody had that, and you're like, yeah, it's
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
we figured it out, didn't we, Ev? Hey, Justin,
He's
what
like,
are you
I've never run a marathon before. Was I? What?
What do you
Oh
play?
no, he totally has. He's looking real good.
Oh no,
is
he
looking
is.
real good.
You can't see him right now, but he's like 6-pack abs and everything. But
I haven't seen Ev shirtless, but I wouldn't go. I don't know if I'd go that far. But
He
is
could
looking
crush
good.
a man's skull with his biceps.
with his thighs.
Ooh.
You ever seen those
No,
videos
he's
of the women who can crush
No,
watermelons
he-
with their thighs? It's intense.
Do you lift or do you just run? Yeah, you just run. That's what I'm saying. Like you just look good for like.
It's amazing that his biceps have grown so
Right,
big
but
from
they
just
but they
running.
haven't.
Maybe he runs on his hands.
That would be impressive.
It's like I'm pretty sure we're all getting what running and weightlifting is confused. We're getting the two different things very, very confused.
It's all the same.
Do I look like someone who understands working out, Chris?
Yeah, no, I guess
What
not.
is running but pushing the earth with your legs?
No, it's not.
Oh man. Justin, what are you playing?
This week, Taylor, good buddy Taylor of mine, for my
there's
for
a
an,
DeLorean in a mine.
yeah, exactly, for an early birthday gift, he bought me Rainbow Six Siege.
Wow.
So we've been playing that.
He bought you a $6 game,
No, Siege was not $6,
dude.
For your birthday?
Yeah, it's next week.
Oh, okay. I was like, when was your birthday? I thought,
Tuesday.
to be fair, I thought it had already passed.
No, not well. I mean, it did last year.
On
No,
on PC, on
Xbox.
Xbox. Oh, see, there's your problem.
Well, I mean, sure. Yeah, he wanted me to play with him. Anyways, it's a lot of fun. I've learned that since I've been only playing Overwatch as far as like shooters go, switching over to Siege, man, I'm bad at shooters again.
Yeah, well, because Overwatch, you basically don't have to aim at anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's very like it's just different. Siege is like you get hit once and you're dead.
Yeah.
And then that's it. You just have to wait for the round to reset.
I watch Anthony Gallegos play it online. I will never play this game. It's a game that I love watching. It's
fun.
fascinating to watch, but
It's
I don't think
fun.
I'll ever play it. But I watched like a pro match, and watching like a regular person play it versus like a pro play it, it's not even the same game.
This game's $20 on Steam,
Wow.
which I think is 100% worth it. However, I remember this game when it was like literally down to like $6.
Yeah,
Remember
well,
that?
that was before it got like Ubisoft. To Ubisoft's credit, I don't think this game is for either of us.
Oh, absolutely not.
But to Ubisoft's credit, they really turned that game around. Like
Sure.
it sort of like replaced Counter-Strike as like the default like military shooter that people play.
Yeah.
I still think Vegas, another Vegas game would be fucking. I mean, that's
that'd be awesome.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
That's all I've ever wanted.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's
no, it's
Vegas
like
3.
I don't know if you looked at the price on Xbox, but there's like I think I got the gold edition, so it came with the season pass or whatever, and that was like $60+
You guys overpay for games.
I didn't buy it.
Well, to be fair, he might have
was
actually
good, too.
underpaid because a lot like if you get a standard edition, most of the characters you either have to grind to unlock or pay a shit ton of money for.
Mm-hmm.
So it might have been a decent deal.
Yeah, I like it. It's been fun. It's really difficult. I like how much strategy goes into it. I mean, you've watched people play it. Like
Yeah,
there's so many
yeah.
different character or like operators, I guess is what they're called. And they're all super different, and I'm not good at any of them.
Yeah,
So
it has a pretty steep learning curve, but
yeah, and it sucks too because you can't just go into like a party chat. You have to be in the chat with everyone, and I just don't like that.
you can't like go through party chat on your Xbox.
You can, but for whatever reason, Xbox Party Chat doesn't work as well as in-game chat does.
That's the complete opposite on
It is
PlayStation.
an insane opposite.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like as soon as we switch over to Xbox Party Chat, it's like just really bad audio quality,
funny.
Yeah, it is.
echoing. It's weird.
PlayStation's like, oh, you guys are on the same network? Nope, not gonna work. Can't hear each other.
Nope, can't do
Sorry.
Yeah, so we had to talk with like everyone, and then random people will talk, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either.
I don't like dealing with other people.
that's when you fucking just get on Discord and call each other there and have like another pair of headphones.
I
onto
brought
your
that up, and
headphones.
he was like, "Nah, we're not doing that." Anyway, so that's what I was playing. What about you, Trey?
Honestly, nothing. I've been playing a lot of D&D lately, and I've been DMing a lot of D&D, which means I've been doing a lot of reading and prepping. So
You're running 2 sessions a week.
we
Three?
decided
Two?
to move the Curse of Strahd to every other week, because the idea with Curse of Strahd is like we want to run it and play it, and we want to have a good time, but my main focus is going to be the Thursday game because this is where everyone is in a room together, and so I don't want Curse of Strahd to get in the way of prepping this game, which was very helpful this week because I basically like on Monday, I usually write the recap for the session and then I start prepping Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I think this week, just the amount of work I put in, which I didn't need to, but I wanted to, I think I put in like 10 hours of work. And so I honestly didn't finish until today on prep. So I would have to prep Curse of Strahd in like a day to have it ready on Saturday, which is just not realistic. So
Are you still running your campaign, Chris?
No, we
Sundays?
haven't even started it.
I thought you did.
Oh, with them?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
it was just the schedule for Chris. It was, it seemed hard on you because you would be playing and then doing housework on Saturday and you'd be tired by Sunday evening. So that's why we moved them to our Thursday game. So that
gotcha.
Chris didn't
Okay,
have to do that. And then they are like addicted. And so they want to play all the time. And so
It's
we
usually
wanted
how
to
it
do Curse
goes.
of Strahd.
That's like whenever y'all started, like back in last January. And it was like y'all were
It's
playing.
almost 2 years.
Yeah, so it was like y'all were playing at Rich's, and then you wanted to have your own campaign going, and then you guys were even down to do like a third one. Like y'all wanted to play every day.
That's when I had time.
Yeah, and then the house, and then life. Yeah. The house looks great, by the way.
Thanks, man. Thanks for helping, by the way.
Yeah,
Chris, what are you playing?
House Simulator 2019.
house painter.
Yeah, no, not a lot. Fallout 4 mainly when I get a chance, just because it's my happy place right now. Because I'm just busy, man.
It's your your escape from the house.
House is just keeping us super busy. Cedars is busy. Green Record is everything on top of everything is busy. So Fallout 4 and 76, just because again, I say it every fucking time. They're not amazing games. But that Fallout's my favorite series of all time, and it's that thing. It's like, what world would you want to live in? I want to live in a post-apocalyptic fucking world where people kill each other all the time. It's like literally,
there's radiation everywhere.
Yeah, that is the world I want to live in.
Don't vote for Chris for president next year.
Or do if you share his vision.
Yeah, or if you really want to speed up the natural selection process, let's just nuke everybody because it'll work. Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of already on the way.
Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. I didn't even get a chance to log into the Division and look and see what the new update is because episode 1 comes out, I think, next week. I'm having this internal conflict. It's literally me split down the middle of like, I want bad juju. I hate playing Destiny 2. I want bad juju, but I hate playing Destiny 2.
Bad juju is going to be there when you don't hate playing Destiny.
Sure, yeah, but I want bad juju. It's one of those things like I'm hungry and I want a Freebirds burrito, so I'm going to go get a Freebirds burrito. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then,
Except but you don't hate Freebirds.
Right, exactly. That's an internal conflict. It's like I want bad juju, but every time I don't hate playing Destiny. I have a ton of fun every time I log in. It's just that I know the steps to get bad juju, and even if I log on for like an hour, I'm not going to make progress. So it's like,
it's like you want Freebirds, but the Freebirds here in town is closed, so the nearest one's in like San Marcos.
Sure, yeah, it's a matter of like what's worth it. Like, right, to me, Freebirds is worth driving all the way to San Marcos if I really want it. Is bad juju worth driving 30 minutes? No, not right now. It's not. Maybe after Shadowkeep it will be. I don't know. I don't fucking know, but.
There you go. Burrito's better than bad juju.
Yeah, 100%.
You heard it here.
Yep.
Hot take.
Hot take.
You guys want to talk about the news?
Sure.
All right. Tim Willits, the studio head of id Software, is leaving the company after QuakeCon. On
Good.
Twitter,
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, he's awful.
I don't know
Just
who
kidding.
he
I
is.
don't know who he is either. I think he worked on Doom and Quake and a bunch of id Software games.
Oh, those are good.
He's only worked there for
those are good games.
24 years.
On Twitter, he released a statement. You didn't know that until you read the fucking news post that I wrote.
read the news.
On Twitter, yeah, because I put it in here in a digestible way for you.
I did further research.
On Twitter, he released a statement saying, after 24 years, I've decided to leave id Software for after QuakeCon. I've been extremely lucky to work with the best people in the industry on truly amazing games. QuakeCon has been an unbelievable part of my journey, and I look forward to seeing everyone at Gaylord, Texas. All of the games currently in development are in very good hands. My departure will not affect any planned releases. id Software is packed full of amazing talent that will continue to develop some of the best shooters in the world. Willett plans on announcing his next career move after QuakeCon. So I think the thing that I thought that this was relevant, because I didn't think any of us would really care, but I think we're slowly starting to see, like, I don't know what he's going to do afterwards. He might just go straight to another company, but I feel like we're starting to slowly see like the old guard begin to like transition out of video games, or at least out of companies where they've been for a really long time, which I think is interesting. I think we kind of need a new generation of
dumb.
people.
You think it's dumb?
Yeah.
Why?
He's got security. Why'd you give that up for what?
I mean, that's like saying, why would anyone retire? Like, I mean,
That-
24 years.
He's not retiring.
I mean,
He's moving to a new career.
Well, I would imagine just at his position in the company, he's probably not hurting for cash. Like
Sure,
it's not like he's just a programmer that's making like $60,000
Yeah,
a year.
maybe. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I would imagine it's just like a creative flex, you know, like you've been doing the same thing for so long that you kind of want to, I don't know, stretch your wings a little bit.
I think that's fair because a lot of id Software's games kind of share the same DNA in a very specific way.
I mean, Quake, for how many Quakes were there? 4.
You're asking
something.
the wrong person.
Sure.
I was a Nintendo kid during the Quake rise.
That's
So.
fair. And then, they just came out with Rage 2, but
Yeah.
But good for him.
Yeah, it's just weird to me. Like, I don't know why you would give up such amazing security.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe he does it. Maybe he has the security still. I don't know. I plan on playing music till my deathbed, and it's not I'm never gonna be like, oh, I think it's time for me to move on. Like,
Yeah, but if you had like I said, I'm just assuming, I don't know for sure, but I'm just assuming this guy has a decent amount of money in his bank account and in his retirement fund.
Sure.
And if you got, I would assume that he's probably moving on to a different video game company or maybe doing his own thing. But if you were working at Green Records for 24 years and you finally got to the point where you're like, I really like Green Records, I appreciate what we've done, but I want to go a different direction and still play music, and you had like this massive security blanket to fall on, would you do that?
No. Not at all.
Well, there you have it.
And there we have it. If the theme of last
But
week's-
music is different, right? Because if you're talking about flexing creative muscles, music is the way to do it. I'm not locked to rock music, right?
Right. You're you're not tied to investors. Like, these people aren't. You don't have investors telling you like these are the games that you have to make, and if you don't, then you're not.
I also have a hard time thinking somebody's doing that to id.
Well, yeah, probably not, but it's definitely you build a reputation of these are the games you make, and you don't really stray too far from that.
Maybe.
Whether it's by choice or by, I don't know, by design.
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
the
I
rut that
don't
they're
see
in.
that either, because id makes, they make, with the exception of Doom and Quake, can we pull up an id? Like, what have they made?
Doom, Quake, Rage.
That's it. Period. Right there.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the majority of
Those are their heavy hitters.
Sure,
Right.
but I guess maybe gameplay wise, Rage and Doom.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah, those are all. They're all first person shooters, but they all play different.
I don't think they really do.
No,
I think that they have
think
like
they do.
minor changes, but
I would say the difference between Doom and Wolfenstein is pretty heavy.
I would think I think in terms of like different things that you can do, like Quake gives you a little bit more verticality and a little bit more powers, but in terms of like the base gameplay of shooting a gun in an id Software game,
Yeah,
which is
but
most of what you do, they all feel similar. And that's not a
They
bad
have like
thing.
the same DNA almost.
Yeah,
it's,
that's not a bad thing.
I'm not too sure about that one, just because Quake is so fucking fast.
Mm-hmm.
Where Wolfenstein is not that fast.
Wolfenstein's a bit of an outlier though, because I feel like Quake and like Doom, Doom is relatively fast.
Then again, you got Rage. It's like Rage throws in vehicles, and it's not as fast as Doom or Quake, but it's faster than Wolfenstein. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If the theme of our news of last week was Nintendo, the theme of our news this week is Ubisoft.
Woo!
During an earnings call, Ubisoft claimed that porting their back catalog of games to Stadia will be relatively cheap. Quote, the extra cost to port to make sure games work well on Stadia is not that high. It's part now of our pipelines, and we have a good relationship with Stadia to make sure it's profitable for us. That is a direct quote because, they're all French, and so it's going to sound funny in English. Or it's going to sound...
The translation.
Yeah. Don't know. Speaking two languages is hard, and sometimes quotes are weird.
Sometimes speaking one language is hard.
If it's English.
The call also revealed that sales for its first physical quarter were down 9.2% year on year, having made around $408 million. Despite the fact that The Division 2 is the best-selling game globally of 2019 so far. It seems like they're putting a lot of eggs in the basket of Stadia, which I guess I could understand because Stadia is allowing them to have their own service through Stadia, which is something that PlayStation and Microsoft don't do. But at the same time, like, seems like a risky move.
Yeah, it could be a could be a gamble if Stadia doesn't do well necessarily, but I think I think it'll pay off for them. Hop on the ship.
It's not early. It's not like they're porting their games to a Switch.
True.
They're making it work on a high-end PC.
Sure, but they're still putting development and resources into something that could not pay off.
Sure, but
like even if it's cheap compared to porting games to other systems, you're still losing money if people don't buy and play your games.
Yeah,
Which honestly, like with a back catalog of games in Stadia, I don't know how many people are going to be like, let's play Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
I might. because it's a good way to play Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's the thing is like, I feel like I measure most gaming things to me because I feel like I'm a fairly average gamer. I'm in Stadia day one. Like this service is perfect for me. Especially
You doing the early adopter?
No, not like that.
Oh,
Just
then you're not day one.
Yeah, you're right. I might not be day one, but Stadia is like perfect for me, man. It's
Yeah.
like plus, and if I can go and play, like Watch Dogs Legion or something like that through Stadia, it's like heck yeah, man.
And if the games run even smoother than kind of like your first experience with them, like Black Flag, a lot of people had problems with Black Flag. So if you could go back and play it,
but I don't
with
have
Stadia,
I don't have problems with Ubisoft games.
True.
I never.
That was you just whatever reason.
Yeah, I get super fucking lucky.
Your blessing is just.
Yeah.
Some people are cursed.
Yeah,
and you're blessed.
and maybe I'm the wrong. Maybe I'm measuring it wrong. I just measure it to me. It's like, man, I'm there day one. If I'm there day one, or quote unquote day one. If I'm there day one, there's hundreds of millions of people there day one.
I highly doubt that.
Well,
I think it'll be popular day one.
That was an exaggeration.
Yeah, I think it'll be popular day one, but I don't know that. I'm not saying that it's going to fail, and I don't think it will. I just don't think that it's going to have like a quick turnaround to success. I think you're going to see a high amount of usage on day one, and you're going to see that drop off over time, especially once we get into new console territory. And then we'll see what happens after that. And it's possible it could be successable. I'm not saying it won't.
Even with new console territory, we're still, you're just making your game work on a high-end PC. We don't have to worry about anything new console, and I would think the way it works, neither do they, right? Because they're just making it work on a really high-end PC, and then they're just streaming that out. I mean, I'm not technical. I don't know the ins and outs of this whole thing.
Sounds super simple, right?
Yeah, it does. It sounds super simple. If Netflix can stream in 4K, I don't know why the hell these guys can't. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with them. It's like, hey, if it's cheap, this is just another avenue to make revenue. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Instead of just sticking to the consoles or just sticking to PC, it's another way for them to possibly make revenue. And if it's cheap and they see somewhat of a return, then
right. And I feel like if they have to point out that it is relatively cheap, then that would mean that it has to be like fairly cheap, cheap of course
maybe
is
not cheap,
relative.
Maybe not
terms,
cheap to us, right? Cheap to us is a $5 breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But like to them, $480 million might be cheap.
Yeah, nothing you're saying is wrong. I just, on my end, I feel like if you have to justify your spending on something to your investors, that means that it's probably still a lot of money, even if it's cheap comparatively.
Sure.
And none of this, and you're right. Why not put it on another console? None of this is to say that you're wrong. I'm just saying that like it could work off, and I think that there's a good chance that long term it will work off. I just think that it's a risk because we've seen so many services like this not take off. And maybe Ubisoft backing it is another guarantee that it's going to work out. But regardless of how it actually turns out, in the moment, I think that they're making a risky decision.
Yeah. I mean, someone is going to have to make that first step, to really back up
Has there
Stadia.
been another streaming service like this? You're just talking about like a subscription service for video games.
Gaikai, the people that PlayStation bought out, PlayStation Now, which is exactly this, and no one's really into.
Yeah.
I thought GameFly had like a streaming service for a little while too.
Yeah, but PlayStation.
Plus there was another one. I remember Arkham Asylum being streamable was like a big deal. On
PlayStation Now, like it's just not good though, especially on PS4 games. I think if you're playing every once in a while, I'll log into my friends list, which is 54 strong. And there's like 2 or 3 people on PlayStation Now playing old games. It's like, that's insanely surprising.
My experience with PlayStation Now is that it's fine. It's just expensive.
Sure.
But Gaikai is the perfect example of a company that was like, we're going to revolutionize how people play games. And this was like 10 years ago.
Sure, right.
So that puts them at a distinct disadvantage.
Yeah. Also, they weren't Google.
Right.
Yeah.
That puts them at a definitely 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
But I also think too, I feel like I'm making a very Chris argument right now. I think that regardless of how big streaming gets, how big PCs get, there are a lot of gamers that spend money in games right now because they're all from my generation, your generation, that will never not own a console and not play on a console.
Oh yeah.
So really, it makes me, I think there are a lot of reasons why Stadia is set up for success, but I'm not convinced yet.
Well, then maybe that's a good thing that they're building that back catalog, because then I could see Stadia being a success in its own right. You know, it's not going to be maybe someone's primary gaming platform, but if Stadia is the place where I can go and have high performance in all of these back catalog of games, sure, I'll have that in addition to my newer generation consoles
especially
where
if
I'm
it's
paying.
especially if it's affordable.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest thing.
You know,
The worst thing is like, man, I really want to play. You know, I want to play Fallout 4, right? And if you don't know the right means to go play Fallout 4, you're going to end up spending almost $60 on a 4-year-old game. You know what I mean? If it's relatively cheap, that's a really, you know, I don't know how expensive Stadia is going to be, but if it's relatively cheap or affordable, that's such a great way to go back and, like you're saying, play that backlog of games. You know.
that could be their selling point. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it totally could be, right? Like, a lot of games are already doing this. Like, Destiny's doing the New Light thing, or whatever that's called, where everything up until Shadowkeep is
basically going free to play.
yeah,
and charging you
it's
for
basically
DLC.
free to play, other than Forsaken and the new one Shadowkeep. There's a lot of games that are doing that, but like, as of right now, if you wanted to get into Destiny, you end up spending about $40.
Well,
and that's not bad,
it's
but
not.
but it's like, you know, with Stadia, you want to get into Destiny, you don't spend anything except for your Stadia subscription.
Well, that's the thing, though. You have to. I'm
With
going to,
what
I'm
we
going,
know,
I'm going,
yeah,
I'm
sure.
going to agree with you. You have to buy a subscription and pay for a subscription,
Right,
but you're
right,
still
right.
buying games. At
Sure,
the
yeah,
prices.
yeah.
But, you know, in defense of Stadia, I think the biggest thing that is, I think Stadia will, I don't know, and again, I could be wrong. We could be sitting here in October, November when it launches,
whenever that
and I could be
launches.
wrong day one.
You're gonna be rocking a Stadia T-shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, no, I'm
the
just-
Stadia ball cap, like.
But I think the thing that's really going to help Stadia take off is when crossplay becomes a thing.
Sure, yeah.
Because I think the biggest hurdle to anything entering into the console market that's not Nintendo, because no one plays Nintendo to play with their friends, I think the biggest thing that's blocking that is the fact that we are all in our own ecosystems. So if you have something that is easily accessible and I can jump on it from a hotel in LA on vacation and play games with you two on Xbox and PlayStation,
Yeah.
that's a huge drive for it. But
Yeah.
you know, when you create a new ecosystem, I think you're automatically cutting people out, because there are people like me that are like, no, I like the history of my PlayStation account.
Sure, yeah,
Or I
yeah.
like how I've already invested in this ecosystem. I'm not going to leave it.
Yeah.
But crossplay 100% is going to like open up new avenues for Stadia, and I think they're counting on it.
Hopefully it happens. I mean, we're working on it, right?
Yeah,
It's almost there.
it'll. I will have it in the news later,
Oh, look at that.
lightly, nothing major. But here's a doozy of a story, so bear with me.
Doozy.
Ubisoft has again decided to partner up with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's production company, HitRecord, to produce community-developed in-game materials.
Record.
For those of you, HitRecord, whatever. For those of you unfamiliar with HitRecord, the company operates by creating a project page that allows members of the HitRecord community to sign up and contribute to the project. Contributions include large portions of a song, some layered music, layered music, remixing existing music, or singing vocals. HitRecord selects what work it wants to use from the pool and pays users according to how much work they put in. Each of the songs that HitRecord commissions and sends to Ubisoft will receive a $2,000 payment split between each contributing artist. After the payment has been processed, contributors have 2 weeks to dispute their pay. HitRecord and Ubisoft previously partnered up to produce Beyond Good and Evil 2 content. Many critics of this model, called speculative work, call it exploitative. To understand why, we have to understand what speculative work is. According to the Institute of Graphic Arts, they define it as work done for free in hopes of getting paid, or work done in hopes of winning a prize, in whatever form that might take. On Twitter, indie dev Mike Bithell said, quote, "This sucks. Pay people for their labor, stop exploiting fans and hobbyists while devaluing the work of those that have the gall to actually expect consistent payment for work done. Do better, Ubi. We're counting on you," end quote. Ubisoft has defended their decision by clarifying that the Watch Dogs Legion audio team is already working with professional artists and composers on more than 140 licensed songs and original score of the game. Ubisoft said that the work the company is requesting from HitRecord is, quote, meant to give them a chance to have their own creative expressions included in the game, end quote. Chris, you're our local resident music person. Is this a problem?
I mean, I think So this is just my initial thought. I think people lobbying against this don't quite understand the music industry. I've been on multiple records, from Carrie Underwood to let's see, who the hell else have I played? Have I done shit for? I think again, this is a think. I'm fairly sure I recorded for Chris Daughtry in Austin at one point in time. That's the thing, is like, I go in, I get paid to do a job, and I never see my name on anything that I go on. But I know for a fact there's a guitar lick in a Carrie Underwood album that I recorded, but my name's not on that album. And that's the thing, is like, as musicians, or especially studio musicians or paid playing musicians, not necessarily guys that go out and, that are in bands and they make it big, and like the initial, songwriters and artists and stuff like that. One of the girls that comes in plays here at Green Records a lot, her name's Susan Gibson. She wrote Wide Open Spaces, which is probably one of the biggest country songs that's ever been written, recorded by the Dixie Chicks. She's a songwriter, so she's got credit for that. But as a paid musician, I mean, we just play. We play, and sometimes we don't even know where the hell our shit ends up at. And even when we do, we don't get credit for it. That's just what being a musician is. Is that a bad thing? Yeah, I think so, right? Because, those are licks or riffs or even stuff that you contribute to that I came up with, or that a team came up with, and you don't ever get credit for that creative aspect. But I think I think that's just it's been that way since the 50s, when music recording got huge. That's what you did. There's plenty of, you see, big bands in the 40s and 30s, 40s, and going into the 50s, into that rockabilly thing. You don't know who those guys playing horns are. They're not on the album. They're not even mentioned on the album, but they're there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that musicians have just dealt with. Is, we're there to get paid. We're there to do a job, and we have our creative outlets, right? I have Cedars. My name is all over Cedars because those are, Drew and Sandy are initially writing the songs, but though, me, Santos, and Compton, you're
not just a recording artist.
Right, exactly.
You're part of the band.
Exactly, and that creative license is there, and it's recognized. But that's our band. So yeah, I think the people lobbying behind, like, do better, Ubisoft. It's like, no, they're pretty much doing exactly what's been a thing in the music industry for 40, 50, 60 years.
Right. Well, and not only that, at least they are the ones that are, getting chosen. They're still getting paid out. That's something that a lot of, or maybe not a lot, I shouldn't say, but I know that there have been cases where people will submit work to be a part of some sort of project, whether it be a game or a movie, show, whatever, and their work gets selected, and their compensation is exposure.
Sure.
Right?
You
should be happy that you're getting exposure.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's like, no.
I mean, you're an actor. You've probably dealt with that too sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
You get paid $20 for a thing, and it's like, that sucks. You put in 8 hours a day to work, and you get paid $20. But hey, you got some exposure, buddy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's kind of like that's the crux of the entertainment industry, right?
I think that this is an example of maybe people blowing a problem out of proportion, because on one hand, I think that my initial reading of this, as I was like, yeah, you're right, Ubi kind of stinks. But what I hadn't realized until Ubi released their statement is that the majority of the songs that they're putting in that game are going through legitimate means. So what they're actually offering is people that could never have their music published in this sort of capacity, the opportunity to have it published. Now, if you have a team of 200 people,
and on top of that, get compensated for
it. And if you have a team of 200 people that are working on this song together, $10 a person, that kind of sucks.
Sure.
But whenever you go to submit music to something else, I know exposure is a thing and it sucks and it's really kind of seedy to say. But on the other hand, like, you can say I had a song that I co-produced that was in this game, just as an example of work that I've done before. And the average person in Cedars probably doesn't have a way to get their song in Watch Dogs right now.
Right.
But you guys could easily go through this way, and it'd be great for you.
I remember when...
potentially.
Yeah, potentially. I remember when Levitt announced this, and I was like, man, that's really fucking awesome. That's something I wish I had when I was really striving to be an artist, not a musician. And I think it's a fucking great thing because there's, like I said, I've been lucky enough to never do something and not get compensated for it. But I know most people don't have that luxury. And there's 16-year-old girls out there right now recording something on they're putting time into their own shit and then hoping they're going to make it, and they're never going to, that's just wasted time because they're never going to make it. But now with HitRecord, I always thought this was such a great thing when he first announced it a few years ago, however long ago it was. And I didn't know this, and I think it's awesome that Ubisoft's doing it. But and again, the lobbyists against it, just I don't know. I just don't think it's a matter of not necessarily being ignorant, but just not getting it. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am looking at this the wrong way. Maybe this is shitty for people, but I don't think it is.
Well, and kind of in the same boat as you. I was kind of a fan of Joseph Gordon-Levitt back whenever he first announced HitRecord, and that was kind of whenever I was somewhat getting fresh into like the acting scene.
Sure.
And not only music, but they would do like
do auditions
skits and
shit.
things.
Yeah.
So that was something that I looked into, and I don't think I ever actually submitted anything, but I made an account and I looked into it, and it was something that I thought was super cool. It was this growing platform that you can just collaborate with people.
And it's just another avenue to because in the entertainment industry, the initial thing is you got to get your name out there.
Yeah. The more you can get your name out there, the better.
Exactly. And if you can attach your name to something like the Watch Dogs soundtrack, like that's fucking awesome, dude.
And you had kind of brought up compensation. The thing with this is because your example was 200 people getting paid like $10 or something. Which
is definitely I think an over exaggeration.
Possibly.
For sure. Yeah. And that's kind of the good thing about this is most of the people who are submitting their work through this program, it's going to be a small team of maybe 4 people. So
you might have the person
5.
that wrote the song and then people playing different instruments.
Right.
Sure.
If not all the same person, just busting out their own work.
Because I would assume the dude or the team of guys that are really working at Ubisoft and working on the soundtrack understand that layering 19 different vocals over something is not the best idea in the world unless you're really going for that. So, you're going to get 6 people on a song. Guy doing a guitar part, guy doing some synth shit, maybe a full live drum kit, and you get like maybe 7, 8, 10 people at the most, and you think 10 people splitting $2,000, hey man, that's $200. Well, that's pretty fucking good, man.
That's a gig.
Yeah.
And one of the coolest things, sort of about
you never had to leave your house. Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. That's one of the coolest things about the digital music age. But another one of the coolest things about the digital music age is that you have someone like Drew, who has a really deep understanding of music. He can produce a song and have all the right instruments in it. Sure, it's not going to sound as good as hooking you up to, hooking your guitar up.
Sure,
and
yeah.
It, but he can 100% make a digital song. That sounds amazing, and he doesn't need 5 people. He
does it every time he sends us a demo. Anytime the two of them get together and write a demo, everything he sends us is nothing's final, but the drum track's there. His idea for what he thinks he kind of wants a guitar to sound like's there, and a bass track is there. So we get it and we listen to it, and it's like, I like this, blah, 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 we'll change this, and then I'll come in however long later and actually put in real
creative process.
So it's just a creative process, and you're right. Like if we weren't a band and it was just Drew and Sandy, they could easily make this shit work. With just him in front of that computer screen because he's good at it.
And the thing, like, bring this back to Watch Dogs. The thing that I liked about this, and it was, I think, maybe a part of their statement, was the original idea behind this was based on the fact that because in this Watch Dogs game you can play anyone, right?
It works really well with the idea of the game.
Exactly. That was kind of what sparked the idea was we should partner with them again because the fact that you can play as anyone. So now I'm thinking like you're walking down the street and you pass by some bar with like some live music playing. The music in that could be something that someone made. That is such a cool idea.
Yeah.
But it's also something too that like if you look at this long term, I don't mean to keep going on about this, but this idea is just fascinating to me because we're Chris more so than maybe you and me, but we're all small, and Everett too. Like he's done a lot of like work creating stuff, but we're all sort of our own creators. And I think one of the biggest problems that we have as creators is getting our work out there in a meaningful way. Which is why like experiences like RTX are really important to us. But if you look at like HitRecord in a long-term fashion, you could totally see Ubisoft doing a thing where like every couple months they're updating a catalog with music that they've bought through HitRecord. Like why couldn't they do that? Why couldn't, if I'm playing the game 6 months after Chris, why wouldn't I be able to hear a different musician
music.
play?
Sure.
Now that probably won't be in Legion, but that's a future that we could all like potentially see. And that's
100%.
That's a really cool way of, because one of the biggest things with Watch Dogs Legion talking about the game is that I don't understand how it's going to work. In practice, it looks really cool. And the very, edited demo that they gave us, it seems super cool. But like, I don't know how it's going to work.
Sure.
And if you're commissioning people online to add in different voices or music or whatever else, which they're not doing the voices stuff, but like that,
that's a damn good idea.
That's a way to bring your world alive in a way that's like cheap, affordable, but also gives people exposure. Like what if they're like, hey, we want to get people to voice an NPC. Here's some dialogue. Just record this into a mic and submit it to us. If we like it, you use it. Justin, you suddenly have a credit in Watch Dogs and you got paid for it.
Yeah, for real.
That's really fucking
I'd be
cool,
all
man.
over that.
I know,
It's
that's
so crazy.
and then that's the thing. Again, I go back to this whole people lobbying against this. It's like I don't think you get it. I don't think you get the entertainment. I appreciate you fighting for pro rights. I appreciate it, but I just don't think you get it.
Well, and not to drag this on even more, but there's also like these same people support really small creators on YouTube, and these are people that are putting ad shit on videos that take tens of hours to produce and are getting very little money, but Google is capitalizing off of these people.
Sure.
They're never going to get to PewDiePie level of fame. They're never going to become millionaires in most cases. And they're making pennies per video, but Google is making so much money off of these independent creators that are putting a shit ton of work into it. And no one's saying to Google, hey, pay your smaller creators.
Sure,
promote your smaller creators.
And that's a completely different monster than this. You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
It's the same concept.
But it's the same concept, but it is a very different monster. Because I think, Justin's never going to go work an acting gig for $20. You know what I mean?
I've done it for free.
Again, I'm lucky enough that every time I do a gig, I walk away with over $100, which is great for most musicians. But also, I've been doing this for 25 years, so it's kind of.
Well, and I got to the point where I was like, I don't want to work for free anymore.
Right?
So,
100%. Yeah.
But starting out, like you do.
Yeah, you do, dude. I can't tell you how many shows we played at Gordo's in San Marcos, or the White Rabbit in San Antonio, or fucking Sunset Station when we got lucky, or the dives. Like, man, Emo's used to be a dive, guys. I know Emo's is pretty big now. It's got like 3 or 4 stages.
It's like a force dive now, not a legitimate dive.
Emo's used to be like a emo dive, man. But when we could get in it, dude, we were in it, and we'd walked out, a band of 5 walked out with $10-15 each, free beer. That's what you do, man.
Yeah.
So.
Following the announcement of the Switch Lite, Nintendo has now announced a new version of the original Nintendo Switch that offers longer battery life. This version of the console will offer a significantly improved battery life even over the Switch Lite. Current models of the Switch offer 2.5 to 6.5 hours. The Switch Lite is expected to offer 3 to 7 hours. The updated OG model will offer between 4.5 and 9 hours of battery life. For those of you who are waiting for this updated model, the improved Switch will have the model number HAC-001(01), and the serial number will begin with XKW.
What? Can't you just put it on the box? Improved?
No, because that's gonna confuse people whenever they announce the new Switch.
That was gonna be exactly my point. Is you don't advertise it because every rumor. And they were right about the Switch Lite. Every rumor is indicating that there's going to be a Switch Pro version.
Model,
So you don't want to have 4 different models of something on shelves.
And I don't think it'll be called Switch Pro. I think they'll go like the old 3DS route.
But
It'll be new Switch.
Yeah,
the new Switch. But it's just like if I go, that's crazy because there's going to be Nintendo fanboys that go out and try to find this.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, can I look at the serial numbers? And people at GameStop are going to be like, no, no, you can't look at the serial numbers
freak.
because that's against policy. We can't just come bring you all these fucking things. Oh, well, then can you go back and look for one that starts with XA9? Holy shit.
1,000%, because I'm still on a Switch. I'm probably going to wait.
Are you going to be like, hey, can you find one that's XA
I
whatever?
will go to every store I need to go to until someone plays ball. Because
fanboy.
no, it's not a fanboy.
No, you just want the best one,
It's
and you also don't
bullshit
have one.
that you're going to force me to buy a $300 console that is not better than something else that you have in stock.
Sure, you shouldn't buy it. You shouldn't buy it because in November they're gonna announce a Switch Pro for December.
I might wait until after Pokemon because you're right. Like I've been having that struggle. The hardest part is that like if you're talking about the game that I really want to play on Switch, Fire Emblem comes out.
I was gonna say it comes out next
days.
week. Yeah,
and I just Fire Emblem
comes out next year. Animal Crossing.
I literally read an article today that was like Fire Emblem is like Persona and Fire Emblem had a baby, and I was like, how can you make something more perfect?
Oh my god, that sounds
than
amazing.
That?
I'll tell you what. I mean,
sounds
because
so not for
Whitney's definitely not going to play it. So if you want, I'm sure you could borrow the Switch and get through Fire Emblem.
I will ask her because that would be the cheapest way for me to play
she's
that
not.
fucking
She's
game.
not going to play it. I mean, at least I'm pretty sure she's.
She
not
hasn't been playing it. She hasn't played it for a while. And I think until November.
Until
it's probably
Pokemon comes
clear.
out. Yeah, 100%.
So you could probably just play it.
And even in November, dude, I guarantee you, she's already like calling GameStops asking to see if we can reserve the Pokemon Switch.
So
there it is.
The Sword and Shield.
Yeah, the real cool.
Whitney doesn't listen to the podcast. I have been.
It's very rude.
I
I would listen if she did a podcast.
This is completely off topic. I've been waiting to buy her a gift until I got the thing. Would it be smarter for me to just get her a gift card to GameStop so she can pre-order a Switch Lite?
Yeah, she'll either do that or buy Pops with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Options.
Yeah. I mean, that's this thing. She spent $45 on San Diego Comic-Con Pops this morning.
Oh, which one she get?
The Flocked Fox from Flocked Fox from Hot Topic, and 2 other Harry Potter ones from Barnes & Noble. She just ordered them online.
Man, the Harry Potter ones are an example of a pop franchise lasting for too long because now it's to the
100%.
point where it's just like
They're making she ordered the teacher with the fucked up glasses. That's who they're making now.
And
the teacher that has she's like,
She did the tea readings.
yes,
Yeah.
that's the pop she ordered.
And
who the hell is this? Is who the hell
You
is
gotta
that?
have the full collection.
Yeah.
this is not a judgment on Whitney, but every time I see a new Harry Potter pop, I'm like, why?
Yeah, 100%. I'm there with you, dude.
Or it's just Harry Potter doing a slightly different pose.
Yeah, she goes, I ordered that. It's like, who the hell is that? This is coming from somebody who's seen the movies but never read the books, or like, I'm not a fan. It's not a fandom. It's like, who the hell is that? She said what she taught. I don't know what that is. She goes, the one with the glasses. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Why are they making that pop?
Yeah.
Who cares about
Who
her?
wanted that one? And she's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
raising her hand.
Pretty much.
I have very conflicted feelings about the story. Gearbox has launched the Vault Insider program, a marketing campaign that is also offering fans in-game loot for Borderlands 3. Players who sign up will get a Borderlands 3 welcome pack, which will give out a high-rarity grenade and shield mod, a VIP weapon trinket, and will unlock when you start playing Borderlands 3. The program also gives you the chance to spend points earned through the program to unlock guns and skins for the game. To earn these points, players refer friends and share Borderlands 3 related social media posts. Now, on one hand, this is fucking brilliant.
Super cool.
This is brilliant.
I have a confession. I'm already in, yo.
Yeah,
I've already signed.
I mean-
I signed up for it like the week. It started like in July, and early July. I think it was like July 7th or something like that. And I was in it already.
It just feels.
It feels kind of seedy.
Of course, it's seedy.
It feels so
gross.
seedy.
You know this is you know this was Pitchford's idea.
But
Like
it's
how can we
genius.
get
free advertising?
Yeah, exactly.
That. Hang on. I'm surprised you're into this because
Dude,
I feel like this is
you
totally geared. No pun
Yeah,
intended.
good call.
But I feel like this is totally towards streamers. Imagine like all my
no,
viewers.
I disagree with that.
So here's my referral code. Go use this. You
Yeah,
get
okay.
benefits, and now I get a shit ton
So
of benefits.
I see where he's
There's
coming.
like a
I see
pyramid
where you're
scheme
coming
part of it.
from. Yeah.
But really, this is like free labor.
I mean, yes, that too.
Yeah, I totally see where you're coming from. Like maybe
Streamers are gonna have the coolest shit.
right, and that yes, I totally see if that's a thing. If you
If I can just give out my code.
Yeah, if you refer and get 10,000 referrals, maybe there's a special gun skin that you can get with 10,000 referrals. We're never going to get 10,000 referrals. I doubt I'll even get 3 if I try hard enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the point. You have to try. You are now like a door-to-door salesman.
And that's the thing.
Oh
right?
God, that's gross. It's
Yes.
like it's like fucking what's the door-to-door makeup people?
Sure,
oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Avon.
It's like
Avon, there
it's
you
like
go,
A-
yeah.
it's
Or
like
Avon,
the
that's
Avon
it.
lady
Yeah.
of Borderlands.
Or Mary Kay.
Or Mary Kay, right?
God.
Like Randy Pitchford's going to give us the pink car as long as we sell enough Borderlands 3, everybody.
Or you're the Herbalife
Yeah.
people on Facebook, or
No.
the skin wraps.
But on the other side of this, I was in because it's like, oh, I'm getting free skins for. So far, they've done free skins for Moze, Zane. No, that's it. Just Moze and Zane. No, they did skins for Flak. They did skins for all 4 already. Plus, you get cool gun skins, and now had no idea this was a thing, but there are gun trinkets. So all your guns are going to have like a little clip.
dangles.
And it's like a little, it's like a little dangle clip. And it's like, oh, I want everything.
I'm totally like the part. So I have a problem with Borderlands 2 that's existed since the game came out.
Oh, should we talk about the problems with Borderlands 2? Because
This is a different problem.
Okay.
I am not a huge fan of shift keys because I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I understand, and if you like them, this is nothing against it. But I think that like the gameplay loop for Borderlands is very much about like earning gear.
Oh, sure. Oh,
and
100%.
I think that like it sort of takes a little bit of the fun out because I've totally ruined a game before where I've been like level 10 and gotten all these purple weapons, and then until I use more shift keys, like I'm not getting anything worth using.
I feel like I accidentally did that for Whitney.
Yeah.
Because like the first 2-3 times you play through Borderlands, you really do. Like when that legendary drops, you're like, yes. But we've been playing, and like when I logged into Borderlands 2 on PS4, I had 160 something shift golden keys.
Yeah.
I just every 5 levels, I just went and spent 10 and got us all new guns.
Yeah, and
it sucks.
And it's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool when you're like doing like a true Vault Hunter run,
Sure,
and you don't
yeah.
have the weapons you need. You can go and like just get to Sanctuary and get what you
Yeah.
need. So the part I like about this is I really like the cosmetic stuff. I love like the gun trinkets and the skins. I think that's totally cool. I am just not crazy about the part of it where it's like more ways to earn gear without playing the game.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully they've learned that. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know the way Borderlands 3 is going to work. I'm sure there's going to be golden keys. And I'm sure you're going to be able to get powerful guns by following their social media, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's not too expansive, at least the first playthrough, right?
Yeah.
That's the best part about Borderlands 2 is you play through it the first time, not now, but when it first came out in 2012, you play through it for the first time, the amount of shift keys that were out there was probably 20, 25
Yeah.
shift keys. So it's not like I'm not going to spend these golden keys. And actually, I don't think the golden chest was there till a while after the game came out. I don't remember.
I don't
could be
remember
wrong.
either.
But yeah, hopefully they don't give us an unlimited amount of whatever it is, and then we lose the loot game. Because you're right,
Yeah.
Borderlands is a loot-based game. It's the best part about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I ruined that for Whitney, man. I feel bad. I kind of do. Not
Well,
really.
she should get that first time experience.
Yeah, but
she will in a couple months, and she'll
loves
get a better first time experience.
she
in
will
couple
get a better
months.
first
True, but she also loves just like the writing and the comedy aspect of it.
she
too.
does. She really.
That's like the
really
main
does,
thing.
yeah.
At least last week you said
Well,
that was the main thing. She
No,
was really
it is.
liking.
She's fucking in love with Tina. So
And in your defense, like she's the kind of person she's been using the same gun in Fallout 76 for like a year.
dude.
So she's
dude,
probably
no
perfectly
shit.
fine with it.
I'm level 95 or something. I'm pushing 100,
Jeez.
and she's like she's in the either the mid to high 70s, and she still uses a pipe revolver.
She had a pipe revolver with a scope. And
Yep.
it's the only gun she used. Like there was one point where I was watching her play. This was before Chris was playing. But I would sit on the couch and watch her play, and she kept dying to this fucking super mutant. I'm like, why are you use another gun?
Yeah, and-
she used another gun and killed the super mutant. Immediately switched back to her pipe pistol and died to the next super
Yeah.
mutant.
And then he comes in and watches me play, and I'm like, because I think he came in one day and I was playing.
Yeah.
And it's like watching you play this game and watching Whitney is like night and day.
It's
'Cause I-
polar opposites.
I've got this. I started using a Tesla. It's called a Tesla rifle, and
Is it the electric one?
Yeah, it's the electric one, and literally, I mean, it chains. So I have an automatic Tesla rifle,
Yeah.
and if I have a wave of anything coming at me, I literally just shoot at the ground, and it kills everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I kill everything like that. Even one shot guns, it's like I roll with what guns they give me, and I do the best I can. But Whitney, that pipe revolver, man. She loves it. She
The
still has it.
The mental image, like the difference between you and Whitney, fits so perfectly, even just in this game. Like you're just blowing people away with this Tesla rifle, and then she'll pew.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like you gotta love it. You gotta love.
It's great.
Like this because like we all play video games, and I think to a certain degree we play video games similarly, where it's like no, we want the better thing, not necessarily the thing that we like.
Yeah.
And so like it's cool to have someone in your gamer circle that's like,
Yep.
no, I'm just gonna play the game how the fuck I want to play
man,
it, and it
we're-
doesn't matter if it's inefficient.
We're mid-30s in Borderlands 2, and every 10 levels I go and donate $100,000 in Moxie to get the fire SMG.
Yeah.
Every 10 levels, so I can
and
level.
she
so I
would
can
be
get it
fine
leveled.
with the level 12 version.
100%. She was quick story about Borderlands again. She had this Teddy or shotgun. There was a slag.
Yeah.
There was a slag shotgun, and it was like level 12, and it was amazing. But then we hit level 20, and then we hit level 30, and she's still using this level 12 slag shotgun. And I'm over here with Krieg, like 27, 28 with Krieg. Once you get that Hellborn tree where you start getting health back, dude, I've got the SMG, fire SMG or fire shotgun. And I'm going from dude to dude. There's fire everywhere. I'm blowing up because I've got the Firehawk shield where you just, anytime your shield's gone, you start emanating this giant fire blast. So I'm running around and it's just like fire, 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 fire. And Whitney's like not able to kill anything. And so I finally go, I finally said something. I was like, babe, I feel like I'm killing everything. And she's like, well, I can't kill anything. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go back to Sanctuary. We'll do some golden keys. After like maybe 15 keys, we got a slag shotgun, Teddy or just like she liked. And it's the
And
same.
now she's keeping up.
She's killing things like that now because she's running an anarchy build. So she slags and then switches to a Jacobs shotgun, and she's one-shotting shit that I could never one-shot.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's having a lot of fun with it. But she finds the gun she likes.
Yeah.
And she sticks with it. She did it in Destiny, dude.
Yep.
She did it when we played Destiny 1. What was it? I feel like it was a pulse rifle. No, what was it?
Was it Nameless Midnight?
It was Nameless Midnight.
She was, and
She
I mean,
used
in
the
her
shit.
defense,
Yeah,
Nameless
no.
Midnight, I used that
No,
gun for a
but
year.
you're right. She used the shit out of Nameless
Yeah.
Midnight because she could stay in the back while we ran forward. You're 100% right. And I guarantee if she got into Destiny again, she would try to find a Nameless Midnight or something equivalent to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it was with the Destiny 2. It was a hand cannon, the solar hand cannon with
No.
like the.
That was the other thing. That was the other gun that she used.
Oh,
Also.
yeah,
she and
she
I
did
used
use
the
sure-
same gun.
which one was
Sunshot.
She used Sunshot.
Yeah, she did use
Yes,
Sunshot
I
a
love
lot.
Sunshot.
Well, that's a great
Even
gun.
after I moved, like it because
It's still a fucking great
My-
gun.
yeah.
My loadout in the first year of Destiny 2 was basically Nameless Midnight, Sunshot, and then just a random heavy weapon that I never used, or it was Nameless Midnight, Uriel's Gift, and then the fucking
I remember.
charge up rifle. That you
I
use.
remember. I remember. I don't know if I like introduced Uriel's to Trey or
No,
like,
you 100%.
Yeah,
brought it to my
I
attention.
think when I told because I used Uriel's, I think Uriel's was 100% a year one drop, right?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
vanilla.
Yeah, and I was using Uriel's like fucking crazy. And when I told Trey, I was like, dude, just let's go run the strike, see if we can get a Uriel's for you. And when he got it, it's like, oh my god, this gun's just dumb. It was just a dumb gun.
I still use it in PvP. Like I'm
Sure.
probably only good at PvP because of Uriel's
Uriel's?
Gift. And I'm not that good, but
yeah.
like I'm better than I would be if I
yeah,
didn't have
like
Uriel's.
to Uriel's Gift would be like if Hung Jury was a auto rifle. Like
It's just a laser,
it's just
and it does a-
fucking amazing.
You can kill something in like half a clip. It's beautiful.
Because real quick, this is why I love this game so much. When Forsaken came out, Uriel's got re-rolled into the random thing, so you could get a Uriel's with like fire for the
Firefly.
or
Or Rampage.
Dragonfly is what it's
Dragonfly,
called.
yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
you can get a Uriel's Gift with like Dragonfly or Rampage and Kill Clip, and it's like, holy shit, this gun's fucking amazing. And that's why I love this game, but I can't do it, dude. Fucking A, man.
Last up in our Borderlands news, prior to the release of the new Borderlands 3 trailer, Randy Pitchford clarified that the theme of, quote, togetherness they teased on Twitter had nothing to do with crossplay, but that Gearbox was committed to bringing crossplay to the game after launch. The next day, the new trailer released and everyone loved it. I haven't seen it. So.
It's okay. It's all right.
it's
Yeah,
it's literally set to, it's set to the me and you,
Yeah,
you
you and me. Yep.
Yeah, that whole song.
Yeah, sure.
Like it's I mean it's funny, but it's like any I don't know, for me like Borderlands trailers or any trailer set to just music, it's like, oh, it's fun, but it's not like
Yeah,
it's all the same and it's all equally loved.
yeah, I think I don't know. This is the least favorite Borderlands trailer I think I've ever seen. Like,
Really?
I didn't. I mean, I love the song, but I don't know. I wasn't a fan of it.
The main part that I liked was just the Flax like dancing. Because he's a bigger guy. And
Yeah.
he's like,
He's not a dude. He's a fucking cyborg.
Well, yeah, but like just the way his legs work.
Sure.
He's just very like skippy and kind of like wobbly. So it was really funny to see him dance.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't like it. I was not a fan of it.
It wasn't anything special.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it was nothing special. I follow a dude from Forbes. I follow the Destiny guy from Forbes. His name's Paul Tassi or Paul Talassi or something like that. And apparently, creators were under NDA for that trailer. He's like, I don't understand why.
Yeah.
So
Because I went to
Did I
see
miss
if there was
something?
anything in the trailer. That
Yeah,
I
I didn't
and it
see-
didn't
yeah.
seem like there. I mean, like IGN did a rewind trailer, so I'm sure they found some cool things.
sure,
but I
but
don't know.
nothing like that's gonna be like
Game
Oh,
break,
yeah,
or like
exactly,
story
exactly.
revealing. Yeah.
I'm still holding out for them to like actually talk about Flack because
I think they said
pretty-
August, right?
I think PAX West or
okay.
whatever the PAX whatever. I think it's PAX West is.
But that's
next.
August, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they said August. They're gonna deep dive into Flack.
because I want to see what he does because I'm still holding
He's gonna
out.
be. I'm telling you, dude. He's gonna be a sniper.
Yeah,
He's
because
going to be the.
Lydia-
he's gonna be the sniper, dude.
Lydia and Pearl are friends who are very obsessed with Borderlands. I've sort of brought up the fact that with the existing characters, it seems like none of them are really built on weapons like characters were in previous games.
Sure.
And so they're kind of expecting Flack to not really be a sniper, but to have skills that would complement sniping.
I got a feeling he's gonna have a tree where like you send the things and they hold the things while you. He's gonna.
I
be,
hope so.
I think he'll be the sniper.
I hope so.
He's the one I most Flack is
They.
the one I'm most
Yeah,
interested.
they, sure.
Are the one that I'm most.
Are you getting on
interested in.
PS4 so you can play with us? Because we're gonna play the shit out of it. That'll be four of us playing. Because
Yeah.
Whitney's.
I mean, I don't think
too.
anyone. I don't think anyone I know on Xbox is getting it, so I don't see why I wouldn't.
She's looking forward to Moe's just because she likes Gage so much. She's looking forward to Moe's.
I want to play Flack, but I mean, if you guys, if one of y'all wants to play Flack, I can play.
I don't think it matters. I think there can be 4 Zanes if we wanted there to, right?
Yeah, that just ruins the head canon.
Does it? That means you're gonna get.
I'm
That means
honestly
you're
the
gonna.
same way.
That means you're gonna get stuck playing Amara, then, sir.
Amara
I mean,
sounds
Amara's
fucking badass.
Okay,
Amara
there you
is
go.
kind of cool.
But like it's the same thing with Anthem, where I was like, Justin's playing a ranger. I can't play a ranger. And Chris is like, play whatever the fuck you want. I'm like, no. We
play
need to have one of each one.
I'm the same way.
Play whatever the hell you want, buddy. You ended up liking the Interceptor.
oh, I fucking love Interceptor. Too bad the game is just not
No,
recovering.
the game's great. It's just fucking.
Not, I
Sure.
did not say it was bad.
Yeah, sure.
Last November, GameStop saw a third quarter loss of nearly $500 million. More recently, the company stopped looking for a buyer after its stock dropped by over 25%. Now, GameStop has partnered up with a marketing company called R/GA that plans on helping GameStop, quote, reaffirm its place in video game culture, end quote. A joint statement by the two companies said the following, quote, together, GameStop and RGA are developing and piloting new and streamlined physical store concepts, introducing new ways for gamers to try new titles before they buy them, end quote. The statement goes on to announce new store concepts like competitive homegrown e-leagues and locations that sell strictly retro gaming software and hardware. GameStop also wants to offer a location of locations for video game competitions and somewhere for players to use CRTVs. The idea is to capitalize off of markets that currently don't have these offerings in their small towns. Chris,
Whatever, dude. This is their fucking like. I'll never let go, Jack. But you're gonna drown.
I don't.
Like you're going.
I don't get it. It's like I feel
Well,
like they're trying to bring back Blockbuster at this point. Like they're buying into the whole like, yeah, let's have CRTVs and like retro gaming.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
that's-
they see the success. I don't want to know. I don't know if I'd call
Success.
game over. I don't know if I call like game over or something like that a success. But
no, but it's one of the few retro gaming stores that stayed open in the last decade.
sure,
and survived.
has
Is that a
ex-
cha-
and
is
has
Game Over
ex-
a chain?
Yeah,
Or is it-
and has expanded. Like there's
Yeah.
game overs all across the United States, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't know that.
And so, like there's a place for retro gaming, for sure, because you can't get retro games digital. Really, it's not like I can just go out and buy Sonic the Hedgehog on my PlayStation. You know what
Sure,
I mean?
but you're not going to be a multi-million-dollar retro game.
Of course not. And it's surprising that's the thing is like it's surprising that GameStop thinks that they're going to make up their revenue by making some weird retro store and some weird e-league, whatever
Yeah.
that means, like a
Local-
esports.
like an
I don't know what
a
what they
local
think they're
esports
trying to
almost
do.
like arena. That just seemed like this. Their I guess their ideas for the things that they want to do with some GameStop stores sounds like some just local person's idea of like, yeah, I want to open up like a comic book shop and we'll have competitions.
That's the thing though. Like if you frame it, because that's essentially like if you look at Heroes and Fantasies, right?
Yeah.
Heroes and Fantasies has just opened up a new location. They've been open for forever, and by all, I mean, you know, the one on the one on Pat Booker moved to a bigger venue. By all accounts, they have like thrived in a world where comic book stores are closing left and right every day.
Sure.
And I think part of the reason that they've thrived is that they've really like doubled down on things like Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
I don't think, and I don't know, I haven't talked to anyone from Heroes and Fantasies about this, but I don't think that comic book sales make up the majority of the business that they do.
There's no way.
But they still have this huge offering of comic books. And if you frame it like, if I were to take GameStop out of the equation and say, I want to open up a gaming store that is, first going to start in San Antonio, and we're going to build up like our own little like e-leagues, and we're going to offer retro gaming, and we're going to just have a place where gamers can hang out and enjoy games, and isn't primarily about selling games, but we are selling games. Sounds like a really neat idea.
Oh no, it does.
But then
totally.
when you throw GameStop on it and you think of all the failed initiatives that they've had over time,
Sure, but-
it's hard to believe that they're going to be able to pull this off in a way that somewhere like Heroes and Fantasies has.
Right, and not only that, it's like the example you use, like the small kind of making a place for gamers to hang out, or Heroes and Fantasies, or even Game Over Games. Like those aren't nearly on the scale that GameStop wants to
Sure,
be.
but like you've got to, at least in my head, the root of the issue is, I don't want to hang out with other gamers at a store. I want to stay on my couch and play games with my friends.
Sure, but I don't think I would, not to like immediately discount you, but it's not like you want to go to Heroes and Fantasies and play D&D and Magic the Gathering.
Right, but those are really the only ways, D&D but like Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering,
if you did want to play,
those are the only outlets to do so. I'm sure they have digital versions of them, but that's not. The digital version of Pokemon is not what makes the Pokemon TCG.
No, you want to collect the cards.
You want to collect the
put
cards
them on the table and play against someone.
Exactly. And so, but video games, that's not what a video game is. A video game is you sitting on your ass on your couch and playing. And now with the online revolution, or whatever, not revolution, but now with online capability, I'm back in fucking 2002. Now with being able to play online, it's like I don't have to go. A perfect thing is Hungry Gamer in San Marcos. This is what Hungry Gamer was. It was a place where you can go have a sandwich, play some video games. Dude, it was open for like 8 months.
If that.
Nobody wanted, I hate to say it, but as a gamer, we don't want to hang out in real life with our friends to play video games. We want to play video games with our friends in the comfort of our own home, and then do these things with play D&D, if you guys wanted to get into Magic, holy shit, man. Give me 6 months, save some money. I'll throw down with you guys. You know what I mean? But I don't want to. If you were to come to me and be like, "Hey, Chris, we're gonna go to Game Over and we're gonna play some Street Fighter," it's like, no, I don't want to go to Game Over and play. Why don't we just get Street Fighter 5 on PlayStation and we can play together?
I definitely think you're right. I just because I don't think that these initiatives are things that I'm going to do again. I'm not going to go to GameStop and play Mario on a CRTV. It's just not going to happen.
Sure,
but I like this business model. I like the idea because I do think, with online gaming, you've taken away a lot of like the face-to-face building outside of like conventions and stuff between gamers. And I think that needs to exist. Whether or not I'm going to participate in it, it's probably no.
Sure.
But I think that it's healthy to have those spaces. I just don't think GameStop's the company.
I like this business model, but it is not a feasible business model. Even offering these fun things to get more people to come out to your store. Okay, sure. Say for whatever reason it works. You get people coming and playing on these CRTVs and playing, Mario Kart against each other and in the store. That's not going to drive sales.
No.
Well, getting people to play these old retro games, there's no guarantee that they're even going to buy them.
So, I think, as at least for the GameStop conversation, I think the whole partnership with ThinkGeek was probably their best, strive to survive. and it failed for some reason.
Because we all immediately realized it was stupid.
Yeah,
because
sure.
They packed their store full of shit
Sure,
that no one
yeah,
wanted.
yeah. And they overbought. They definitely overbought hard.
You don't want Jurassic Park koozies?
Yeah, sure, exactly.
I don't want a Harley
that,
Quinn candle that has been at the New Braunfels GameStop for 6 years.
and that was their fail, right? They overbought too much shit, and like we got 2 Fallout statues from ThinkGeek on sale because all that shit's going. They're basically
you guys basically like stole from.
Yeah,
ThinkGeek.
that's what I mean. And because we waited on it, now they're going under, and it's like everything's on fucking clearance, and that was just something that we saw coming. But if GameStop really wants something like this to survive, I really think they need to. They don't need to focus on esports because that's not a thing that maybe it is. I may be out of it. Maybe that's something
It sounds
that
cool to me. I just don't know if GameStop's
Sure,
people to do. 'Cause,
yeah.
like imagine you have like a little league like Smash Brothers competition.
Yeah, that's gonna have like 8
well,
people come
no,
out.
well, so no
But-
here.
But I mean, like, I don't. Maybe I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's possible that it, like, like when I was like 10 years old, I would have loved to have something like this. Like, I remember back in the day, 360, Halo 3 came out. I had Xbox Live at home, but we had a community center with like 12 Xboxes that were all hooked up, LAN connections.
Sure.
And we would go, even though I played Halo every day of the week online with thousands of
would still
people,
go.
I would go every weekend with 3 of my friends and we would play random people in
Sure.
person there. As a 26-year-old adult that has a lot of shit to do, that's not appealing to me.
Sure.
I probably would never do that. But as like a kid, I think it might be really cool.
Sure.
A
And
kid,
so-
sure, but like a kid in like the 90s and early 2000s.
No,
Kids
I
now,
would
I
say-
don't think they still buy into that.
I would say
they like
that-
to play Fortnite away from their friends.
Yeah, maybe, and that's just that. Maybe maybe you're seeing your generation.
Yeah,
gap. 'Cause
maybe.
I was the same way, dude. I grew up in the arcades, right? I used to run Street Fighter 3 Third. I used to run Third Strike. Unless there was one dude that could beat me like insanely hard, but like in the arcades, I could run a Street Fighter Third Strike for a good hour, and that was something that's really exciting when you're a kid. When you're 9, 8, 10 years old, that was a really fun experience.
Well, and I grew up in the middle of nowhere, so this was like this idea. Is
no,
like
we
a
had diversions. We
romantici-
had diversions, man.
Well, this was like a romanticized thing of like
Yeah, because you're sitting
man,
at
like,
home playing Halo by yourself.
Sure.
Like,
and it's
I
like
could-
you
like,
really
I
wish
could
you had a
be-
place to play with people that play
I
the same
could go
game.
to a game shop and like be like that kid that hangs
Sure.
out there after school, like drop my bag at the
So-
door. Like that's what this is.
so
like
here-
a romanticized idea of that.
So here's like if I'm in GameStop's meeting about this, the ideas they're throwing out are good. But if you really want, I don't think kids are going to be a part of this. Like Justin was saying, I think you're starting to see that generation gap that I'm always talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think kids are going to be a part of it. However, if you can get me a chance to play Borderlands 3 before the game comes out,
Oh.
I'm in. If you can give me exclusive content inside these games, I will show up for 30
It's like the
minutes to an
Pokemon
hour.
thing. You go to GameStop to get this legendary Pokemon you can't get anywhere
How
else.
many times have Whitney and I got up at 7:30 in the morning to be at either Hot Topic or GameStop at 8 o'clock when they open 2 hours early just to get exclusive content? That's how you do it, and make it, because we're there every time they do a Pokemon Day. We're there at 9 o'clock when they open, so we can get that stupid card. And it's something we enjoy doing. That's something I hate going to GameStop, but I enjoy getting up and going and having breakfast with Whitney, showing up and waiting in line for 5 minutes before the doors open, going in, buying the new packs of Pokemon cards, getting the exclusive card you can only get by buying some packs. It's a lot of fun. And you want this to work, GameStop? Get me a chance to play Borderlands early, and I'm in. Give me some exclusive shit, and I'm
To
unfortunately,
in.
your
with
point,
the-
I'm going
with
to
the-
defend your point real fast
Yeah,
before you
go
keep
for it.
talking. I 100% agree with you that the way that they're doing this stuff, I don't think it'll be successful at GameStop's level because they have thousands of stores that they're going to try to implement this stuff at, and I don't think that there's enough interest. My argument for why these things should exist is I think it starts at one store
Sure.
and you build it.
Sure.
I don't think you can force a program like this into thousands
I
of
agree.
stores and expect it to take off.
I agree. It's fine, but it's finding that right. It's finding that right audience, right? Whoever that is. I don't think it's going to be the GameStop in Seguin, but it could possibly be the GameStop, one of the GameStops in a neighborhood in Austin.
I'd be opening up a store next to Heroes and Fantasies.
Sure, 100%.
How do you get that market? You get it next to Heroes and Fantasies because they already have those people.
And then, because GameStop's terrible at partnering with shit sometimes. But you partner with, like you said, you partner with Heroes and Fantasies, and you have a Saturday where it's like, hey, come down to GameStop/Heroes and Fantasies. You get to play Borderlands 3 early. They're releasing the new Borderlands 3 action figures. You can get at Heroes and Fantasies, and you do this cross promotion thing.
That'd be cool. I just feel like,
but GameStop never does any of that.
well, again, like with GameStop's like kind of declining value overall, I don't see big games like I don't see you being able to go to to GameStop and getting to play Borderlands 3 early. What's happening now is you're going to have to partner. They partner through Epic, right? You're going to have to go to the Epic store, and if you order it early, then you get to play it early.
Sure, yeah, but the thing is I see where you're coming from, but coming from being a GameStop employee for 7 years, Trey was there for what, 4 or 5, something like that. How long were you there?
I was like a year and a half.
Year and a half. Okay, so and coming from that, when the Rick and Morty trailers showed up, or whenever you remember all that, or the Nintendo bus came by, or there was a day where the Nintendo rep was there to show a specific new game for the Wii or whatever it is, or I think I was just leaving when the Nintendo rep. There was a day where it's like, I'm going to be here showing a Switch before it's even out. There was a lot of traffic. Right. Those are the things people will get up off their asses, away from their consoles, go to a store, and become part of this community event.
When GameStop was kind of more on the rise.
Well, but
y'all were there.
Sure.
I don't know.
We were there before the Think Geek stuff.
Right. I don't know if y'all were there in necessarily the heyday of GameStop. You would know better
I would say we were there.
I think we were there right before it.
Right before the
right. But you don't see too much of that stuff happening now, aside from like maybe Pokemon days and stuff.
But here's the thing though, like to play, I agree with you, but to play devil's advocate against your argument, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, and probably Google with Stadia controllers and all that stuff, they have a vested interest in keeping GameStop open, because that
physical.
Sells hardware.
Yep.
People don't buy hardware off of Amazon. They want brick and mortar stores to exist to sell hardware, and they want people to buy pre-owned hardware because, again, like I've said 1,000 times on this podcast, none of them make money off of hardware. They make money off of software. So if you buy a pre-owned PS4 for $200 versus the $300 or $250 that it is on the shelves, you're buying software and making them money. If GameStop closes down, they're stuck in the Walmart and Target and Best Buy cycles where console prices never drop, and there's a higher barrier of entry for lower income families to get into video games.
Which is why they tried so hard to make the alternate like Think Geek shit work. They tried so hard to make this geek culture of buying socks and just stupid tumblers and whatever the hell they thought was a good idea.
Harley Quinn candles.
They
I want to go buy it now just to.
I mean, I can't.
I'm gonna gift it to you.
I can't help but applaud their effort because they had the right idea. They just fucked it up.
It was just blatant capitalism. That was the problem. You could tell that they didn't respect it. Like
it was pandering.
When you walk into Heroes and Fantasies, it's the same idea, but there's this cool slant to it because it seems like they're actually celebrating the culture as opposed to shoving just as much shit in the store as possible with as many big properties on it, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We've made this statement before, but I've said probably 2 years ago, so I've got 3 years. That GameStop's just not going to be a thing. And I guess so. I said it 2 years ago, which was 2017. So I think I said 2021, 2022, GameStop's not going to be a thing anymore.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see if they can even really see this idea to fruition. It seems like things are kind of happening more and more rapidly.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's like with this much kind of revamp of their brand, man, I would imagine that can't be cheap.
Yeah, sure, maybe.
So we'll see.
Last up on our news list, which will probably keep us going for a little while longer, Game Freak continues to face backlash for its decision to restrict the number of Pokemon in the upcoming Sword and Shield games. However, the company has clarified that they have been creating new models for Pokemon from scratch and not importing them from previous titles. They noted that importing all 809 previous Pokemon was difficult in the Sun and Moon titles. A translation via Google Translate from an official statement says, quote, "Of course, I wanted to be able to bring all the Pokemon if I could do it. But it was also a decision that I had to make someday. In the end, I had no choice but to choose the quality." So, to support them, I think they're 100% right.
Sure.
Sustaining thousands of Pokemon and upcoming Pokemon titles was never going to happen.
Sure.
And also, I do believe that they are very overworked.
Sure. I agree.
However, counterpoint to that is I have yet to see a single model in Pokemon that isn't directly derivative of things that we're seeing in Sun and Moon, or that is impressive enough to justify the fact that they're not putting it in.
Right.
Like that fucking Yamper
Where he's just
animation
like, beep,
where he
beep,
just
beep,
slides
beep.
on the
Yeah.
floor. Like I am still on the side of Game Freak. Everyone's being too mean to them.
Yeah.
I support them. However, let's not pretend that like this is so high quality and different.
So after last week, I was thinking about this, and this just, to me, this just backs up my thought process. Is once again, fucking gonna scream it. I'm gonna die on this fucking mountaintop. Nintendo's so far behind when it comes to trends in video games. You know how you solve this? You say, hey, in November when Sword and Shield launches, we're going to have X amount of Pokemon. There will be a $20 season pass. This is terrible. Believe me,
horrible.
I don't like this in any way, shape, or form.
You said something smart, but also something
But there is a
gross.
$20 season pass, which will guarantee you the expansions to Sword and Shield
Right.
over the next 4 years.
Oh, you do
make-
like a Kanto zone.
you
or
make-
not
yeah.
you do like a Johto
You
zone,
make
and
the-
there's
you-
Pokemon that weren't available.
Of course,
gross, but-
Nintendo's never going to
I
do
was gonna
this.
say it makes too much sense.
Of
to do
course,
that.
Nintendo's never going to do this because, God forbid, you only have one Pokemon game every 4 fucking years. But you have a Pokemon game come out, and you have a 4 to 5 year plan with a $20 season pass that by the end of everything and everything's said and done, there is 1,025 Pokemon, however many there's going to be in this game. And for 5 years, you have the ultimate Pokemon experience. Every year, there's a new expansion where you end up maybe going back to Kanto. That's
And-
where
and
those come
maybe
from.
it's not the full thing.
Sure,
but
maybe
maybe
it's-
it's like a Kanto zone.
Sure,
a
something
small
like that.
slice of it.
Yeah, something like that. Is it gross? Oh yeah, but from tell me you would not pay $20 for a season pass for something like that.
You're talking to a Nintendo fanboy.
I am
you
not,
don't need to sell me anything.
I am not a Nintendo fanboy, but you take my money fucking now, sirs. And but it's just another reason why Nintendo doesn't get video game trends. They don't understand it.
choice.
Sure, fine. We choose not to understand video game trends. They choose not to understand it, and they're overworking Game Freak. That's the thing. As I agree with you, they are overworking this company and these people that are doing this, and because they want this game. And I guarantee you, in November when Sword and Shield starts, half of Game Freak is going to be working on the next Pokemon game for in the next year,
They're
year and a
probably
half.
already working on it.
And instead of doing that, it's the same fucking thing. It's the same thing with like the biggest thing with Fallout right now. It's like, hey, would you rather 10 people pay $18 for a skin, or would you rather 500 people pay $2 for a skin? This isn't fucking rocket science. You know what I mean? Nintendo, would you rather, maybe 40 to 50% of your audience pay every year for another Pokemon game, or do you want 100% of your audience to pay for a Pokemon game and then $20 other to last for 10 years or 5 years? Because I mean, the math's there. It's not fucking rocket science.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
It's just it's the whole problem of it's something they've never done, and they're just really slow to do things that are just outside of their realm. I don't know.
They don't need to do this.
In their here's the thing. Here's the thing with Nintendo, right? Nintendo will do something, and this is exactly what's going to happen with Sword and Shield. I'm just going to call it now. Sword and Shield is going to come out. People are going to pitch a fit, fucking cry and scream about it, but we're all still going to buy it
anyway.
We're going to play it, and then after like a month, it's going to be like, oh, Sword and Shield is so great. I love it so much. Because that's what happens with Nintendo all the time.
Trey, it's the nuance.
If Nintendo were to do that, and really if Game Freak and the Pokemon Company and Nintendo were to do that, the world would be set on fire. For 3 months, however long it's going to take us, 4 months until Pokemon comes out, people would lose their goddamn minds. They would be furious until
the game came out. Yep.
The game came out, and they're still gonna fucking buy it
Yeah.
because this is like someone posted a thing on the Pokemon subreddit of ways to play Pokemon without supporting Game Freak, and it was like buy old games pre-owned, play games you haven't played before,
God,
don't spend actual
whatever.
money on the games, and it's like, sure you can do that, but no one's gonna do that.
Sure.
Like Chris,
there's-
you
yeah.
you and I, you are probably at this table maybe the person most opposed to there not being a national.
Sure,
next in the game.
yeah.
You're still going to be there day
I
one.
do. I mean, we're buying a second Switch.
Yeah,
I mean, like
you're
it's-
gonna buy a second
yeah.
Switch and 2
yeah,
copies of the game.
there's
day one.
I mean, at last count, there's 15 million Switches out there,
Yeah.
and more than likely, there's going to be, I would say, 70 to 80% of those Switches are going to be buying Pokemon.
Because everyone bitched about Let's Go,
Yeah,
but that game sold really well.
sold insanely well. It wasn't 15 million. I think it was like
No.
maybe 7 to 8.
Six or seven,
yeah.
but at the time that was like half the
Sure,
population.
and I would think like out of 15 million, if we're putting a number on it, Pokemon's going to sell anywhere between 8, 9, 10, maybe 11 million copies.
I think 9 million's definitely safe. To
Sure, and you know, yeah, I agree with you. If Nintendo did decide, they did it with Zelda. They announced Breath of the Wild, and they were like, "Hey, there's a season pass with story content," and people fucking pitched a fucking fit about it. But guess what? One of the highest attach rate for fucking Nintendo was the season pass of Zelda.
Well, that's the thing. People complain for other people. It's like, oh, you should all feel
Yeah.
terrible about
Yeah.
this as they're pulling
Yeah,
out
as they're
their
pulling,
wallets.
yeah, I cannot believe you people.
How
Yes,
did-
2 copies of Zelda,
Two,
please?
please.
Yes.
I did it with
Oh, special
Amiibo.
edition? Yeah, make it 3.
Yeah.
Make it
I
3.
did it
sure,
with Amiibo.
sure.
I bitched about Amiibo exclusivity, but guess who was at Target at
sure.
7 a.m. on a Friday when a
Yep.
new Amiibo was
That's the
coming out?
problem with this
Guess-
culture. It's
and
like,
guess
I
who-
complain for other
and
people.
guess who drove all the way to Toys R Us to wait in line with him in fucking
Yeah.
Austin? Like, God damn it.
The sharks are circling, so we need to get done.
Okay.
It
The
happens.
D&D
7:05
sharks.
rolls around, and you just see people.
Yeah, just
start to like walk around the building.
They
looking
start
at
to
us.
circle, but we don't start till
until
like
8.
I know we don't start till Cat gets here,
Yeah.
so whatever.
EA and PopCap Games, quick saves. EA and PopCap Games have announced that Plants vs. Zombie 3 is in development. Fans can sign up for the pre-alpha test as well. Sign up for the pre-alpha test through the Android App Store.
Cool.
On a Southwest airline flight, passengers were given a free Nintendo Switch and a copy of Super Mario Maker 2. So be jealous about that.
What?
Yeah, one flight they were like, "Hey, everyone, we got Switches for you."
Well, it was to San Diego for the Comic-Con, so most of the people were
I
going to
missed
Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
And 2, I looked into this because I was like, why the fuck did these people get Switches? They've done
jealous?
this before.
Oh, I'm so.
They've done this before, not with Switches, but like there was a flight in like
Everyone gets a
2013.
PlayStation 4 that you can't play.
Yeah, that you can't play.
Good luck.
Southwest Nintendo is an official partner of Southwest, or vice versa, one of the
Something
two.
like that. Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
I
they've
mean,
done
if
it
they're
with like
partners,
3DSs
then-
and everything.
Hey, that's cool, man.
I
Good
mean,
for them. So,
No,
like,
not good for them.
well,
I didn't get one.
You want to talk jealous train real quick, super quick. Amazon Prime Day was what, 2 or 3 days ago?
Yeah, yesterday.
15th.
Oh, no, it was the 15th. It was a few days
Well,
ago.
the
I
deals
think
are
it
still
goes a
going
couple
on,
days, yeah.
but it started on the 15th.
One of the Amazon Prime deals was insanely marked wrong, and people got are you ready for this? Sony AX6500 for $100.
I don't know what that
They
is.
got a $1,600 camera.
Oh god.
For $100.
How long was that deal up before?
I think it was up for 30 enough to where somebody shared it on like a either Reddit or like
Frugal,
or
or
like
Frugal.
like a deal thing.
All you have to see is 100,000 people buying a $1,600 camera before you realize, oh, we fucked up.
Yeah. So it's like a bundle. Like there was a $500 bundle that gave them a
Maybe got, like, a
$1,600
lens or
camera,
something.
and they got a $2,000 lens for like $500.
Someone got fired.
Oh, dude, somebody got fired hard, but it showed up on my Twitter feed, and it's like my Prime Day cameras came in, and this dude has 3 Sony AX6500s,
Hell
and
yeah,
I'm like,
dude.
holy fucking shit! Like
And
how much? And then I started
Since it's Prime, you get it next day.
I started scrolling down his feed, and he said he got 3 6500s for about $400. It's like, oh my god!
Yeah.
I like
What a
that.
steal.
That's like a dream camera for a lot. Even for us at Green Records, I would kill for 3 of those because that's a damn good fucking video camera. Oh man.
That was our streaming opportunity right
yeah.
there, and we missed it.
If Devil May Cry 5 wasn't edgy enough for you, don't worry. PC players can now play as Kylo Ren through a mod.
Oh, I saw that. I saw the video of it, but he's like holding his lightsaber in the middle.
Yeah.
So he's like holding the saber.
So the
how that
crossbow
works.
works.
Yeah, the blade, yeah.
Was he wearing like the high waisted pants? Too?
Oh, I couldn't.
I think it's just
didn't
like
look at
straight
it.
up like
I didn't
Kylo
look at
Ren
it that
outfit,
close.
no
Yeah, I
helmet.
didn't look at it that close.
Missed opportunity.
Last up, the Division 2's creative director has asked fans for their thoughts on a single-player spin-off of the Tom Clancy looter shooter. The director imagines that the game would follow an agent attempting to get back to their family after being sent to New York City. He admits that, quote, none of the stories have explored what a division agent sacrifices and what they go through mentally.
I'm in. I would love to see like a Last of Us story.
down.
That sounds cool.
Because
I'm down.
Division's, I mean, God, just for 2 seconds, think about how cool the Division is in like a in a world
It's
view.
a missed opportunity with Division to just be playing like a nameless agent.
Yeah, sure,
There's
100%,
a lot
yeah.
of things about that game that really strike to like the core of like
Yeah.
being in service when the apocalypse happens.
Yeah.
Well, I like for me personally, I would be more likely to play that than the current
Than the
Division.
current game,
because
sure.
I'm not a big fan of looter shooters to begin with, but mainly because I don't like
What
having
the hell are
to
you doing on this podcast?
Yeah, right. I don't like feeling like I have to compete against other people to have the best
Yeah,
loot set.
yeah.
So getting to play single player, getting to experience the world
Yeah,
of Division,
I
which I
think-
thought was super cool.
I think that's a damn good idea, and just use a Division 2 engine to make it. You know what I mean? I think it's a damn good idea.
yeah,
And
it's
pair-
basically like Last of Us. You
yeah,
said, except like military
and
more.
and pair it with well, they're not military; they're civilians. That's the greatest part about Division is they're just highly trained civilians. And pair it with the Jake Gyllenhaal movie or Netflix show movie, whatever it is coming out whenever that does. And,
Yeah.
and you got a franchise on your hand.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So,
All right, guys.
Printing money at that point.
well, for certain people, me for sure.
All right, guys. If you like what we do, please check out the description below to follow all of us on social media. Our personal Twitter links are there. The Twin Stick social media links are there. We have links to Downstream Studios, who made our theme song, and lots of other cool things in there. So go do that. Thank you guys for listening. We need to go.
Okay, bye.
Bye.